Friends, please take your seats. Okay, thank you. So we're ready to start. The game number 9 finished in a draw today, and we have players here with us. Can you please tell what happened? The game was quite short.
Yeah, it was very short indeed. So
We didn't manage to drink our coffee until it was already over. So
yeah, I don't know in what tempo you drink coffee, but that's me. Okay. Basically, I didn't quite see what to do here. Also in this position, e6, bishop d6. I thought about rook e1, then maybe f6 is okay for black. I don't know. And yeah, I thought as long as I don't see anything clear in the position and it's better prepared than I am. And for the match, it's also okay with the draw.
So can you please clarify about the opening when you played 92 and what was the surprise? B6 was a surprise for you? Or what do you mean by?
I wouldn't like to go into details, but there are different lines for black there as well.
Vishy, what is your version? What happened today? Was it great preparation from yours?
Well, a lot of this is known. So, I mean, this idea e6 is often met by bishop d6, and I mean, I knew the check and check, but I mean, I didn't really expect it. But when it happened, there's not really much that black can do.
Are you happy with this result?
Sure. I mean, you have to just play the positions you get and the situations you get. So. I mean, I can count, I know the score, but I think still I have some chances.
Magnus, what about you? Are you happy with what happened today, with the result and the situation in the match?
It's always better to be able to press a bit with white, of course. But on the other hand, every half a point brings me half a point closer to 6.5, so that's not too bad, but it's a tough match, and right now it looks like it's going the distance.
Do we have questions? Join us, please.
Mr. Anand, were you surprised that Magnus didn't get more out of the opening today?
Well, you try to be prepared for everything, but I mean, when you went e6 and bishop d6, I knew that at least it was comfortable for black.
Anand, what is the subtle difference in playing bishop a6 first and then bishop b7?
Well, this I would rather not explain.
Too many secrets, yes. Okay.
Mr. Anand, how is your confidence going into the last 3 games?
I think quite reasonable. I mean, also an easy draw like this with black. Well, I'll just have to try harder with white.
Carlsen, are you feeling better today than you did last game?
Yeah, sure. Today it was, and it usually is more about the position than how you feel.
Magnus, how was your preparation to this game versus the last one?
Well, it's a bit different when you're playing white, but yeah. Apparently, it wasn't good enough today to get a game, but it's not a disaster.
Magnus, do you feel you're playing at your best, or do you have another gear?
Well, I think my play's been quite inconsistent, both in terms of preparation and also overall play. But we'll see.
You have quite a few hours now. What are you gonna do the rest of the day?
I don't know. It's a good question. I'm not used to having so much free time after the games.
Is it the shortest game actually in the World Championship matches? What do you think? You have better memory than mine for sure.
Well, not in terms of moves. In terms of time, perhaps? I don't know.
Mr. Anand, how do you feel at this point of the match compared to the match in Chennai?
I mean, I'm going to focus on this match. I don't sit and think about Chennai a lot. That was in the past. I will focus on the match. I mean, even though we are off early, there's actually a game to play tomorrow. So I'll go back and start focusing on that now.
Magnus, how much is your choice of opening dependent upon the match situation, being ahead +1 in the second half?
Yeah, obviously it's more comfortable playing these kind of early end games when you're up. But yeah, in general, I just try to play the lines that I consider to be good and suit my style. It's just today he was better prepared than I was, and I didn't see anything at all.
Is it frustrating in a match situation if your opponent is better prepared than you for an individual game?
Yes, but it's also been the opposite a couple of times. So, but again, if there is any disappointment with of a short draw with white, then it's easier to swallow when you're up in the match.
Speaking about preparation, do you always play what was decided, let's say, with your team, or sometimes you change your mind and just play whatever you want during the game?
Depends on my mood.
Yeah. Vishu, what about you?
Depends. I mean, the team tries to leave you in the best possible situation at the board, but you still have to think there.
To Mr. Anand, your preparations yesterday, was they any different than earlier games?
I mean, roughly the same working times, the same patterns, but of course, it depends how the work goes, what you find, how you react, things like that. So it's hard to compare these things.
Do you use some of your free time to train or to do not something else than to sit and watch positions?
Sure. I mean, on all the rest days, I go to the gym and work out for an hour or so. I mean, you have to use the rest days for both, for a bit of work and try and get some strength back.
Question for Magnus Carlsen. Vladimir Kramnik called you a genius in an interview we did with him. How do you feel about that?
Well, those were kind words. But well, I'm not so generous with the use of the word genius myself.
How do you feel about him?
He's really great player, and he likes to speak his mind.
Have other questions? Okay, just one more question about, for example, scenario of the last games. Can you imagine? You said you are kind of happy with the quick draws because they bring you closer to the end of the match. I mean, when you're up at the moment. But imagine if everything will be decided in the last game. I mean, don't you think it's too much pressure on both of you? And what can you say about it?
I didn't say I'm happy with the quick draw with white, which, well, obviously I'm not thrilled about that, but I just said that it's yeah, it's more okay than it is in a different match situation, and I mean, going into the last games when the score is pretty even is yeah, it's always tough. There are always going to be nerves, but it's better to be up, of course. And yeah, it's a tough match. It's a pretty even match so far, and yeah.
Can you say it's more tough than in Chennai at the moment?
Yeah, sure. In Chennai, I was up 3 at this point, so obviously that's tougher.
Vish, what can you also say about it? I mean, this scenario which I proposed. I mean, one of this.
I mean, I'm not going to sit and discuss scenarios here with you. I mean, there's a match to play, there are games to play now. I'm going to focus on that, really.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Magnus, how well prepared are you for the psychological stress of the 3 final games?
I don't know. I think you can never be completely prepared. The nerves are always going to be there. But yeah, I've been in the situation before, and after all, the rules are still the same, regardless of the match situation and regardless of what part of the match you're in.
Thank you very much for attending this press conference. Thank you.